I'm Dave Lee, this is my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote for Chaos. Jordan Peterson is a psychologist in the world right now, and this book is extremely popular right now. He's been all over the media. I've just read his book, 12 Rules for Life, an Antidote for Chaos, and I just want to tell you guys about it, promote it to you guys as well, because I think it's an awesome book. There's a lot of things in the book which I just tend to agree with myself. The general overview of the book is you are responsible for your life. Whatever goes wrong, you have to somehow make the most of it, and you need to, in a way, be responsible for everything. You can't just sit there and blame someone. That takes you down the wrong track. You need to make the most of it, and you need to take action and do what you can within your confines or your limitations. And this is one of the fundamental parts of Jordan Peterson's book here. There's also another book I'd like to promote as well. This is connected, by the way. Jordan Peterson talks about not lying. You should always try to be as honest as possible in almost every way, shape and form. In the book, Jordan Peterson does actually say that he believes that heaven, or his interpretation of what heaven would be, is a place where everybody tells the truth. And in a way, when you really think about it, he might have something there. He might be onto something there. And this runs a parallel to another book called Lies, another book that I recommend you guys read too, by Sam Harris. I read this book several months ago, Lies by Sam Harris. It's only a really small book. It's a short book, so you can get through it relatively fast. He goes through every possible scenario that you can think of when it comes to lying, and tries to convince you that there's almost no reason to lie in any way, shape or form ever. He does talk about the lobsters. The reason why I'm not talking about the lobsters and stand up straight and straight back and stand up straight, that's kind of common sense. He also talks about make your bed and sort out your room and all the basics, common sense stuff. Most of you people out there will understand that. You know, don't slouch, don't look depressed, stand up straight, look like you're somebody. Secondly, clean up your room, clean up your house. Don't leave your place in a mess, and be diligent and conscientious enough to sort out your life on the most basic fundamental level. Most of you guys will understand that, so I'm not really going to touch on that. I want to touch on a few things that are a little bit more deep. When you're talking to someone and they're talking to you and they're telling you something, always be mindful that they might know something that you don't. This is a very important point that Jordan made, and when I've looked at all the other book reviews, none of them have actually brought this up, but this is very fundamental. You don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, and you can always learn from whoever you speak to. So that's another fundamental lesson that I learned from the book. In a way, a lot of these lessons I already knew myself. Now we're going to get a little bit dark. Jordan likes to go through old literature, especially the Bible. In the Bible, we've had two sons. The two sons are Cain and Abel. Now, the story about Cain and Abel is that both of these guys, they were working hard, and God appreciated all of the hard work from Abel. But Cain, who was working equally as hard, God did not appreciate the work from Cain. Now, Cain became jealous, he became malevolent, and he became effectively this evil, jealous guy, and he went and killed Abel because he felt that he deserved something. Now, the fundamental lesson behind this is that sometimes you will work as hard as others, and you will not get as much as others. The world is not fair. Sometimes you will put in the hard yards and someone else will get everything even though they didn't work as hard as you. And that's life. Roll with the punches. You might work as hard as someone, doesn't mean that you're going to get everything that they get. You have the capability of committing evil. All of us do. And Jordan makes that very clear, that all of us have evil inside us. and that it is your job, it is everybody's job to keep that under control. And you see Cain, in the story of Cain and Abel, he wasn't able to keep it under control. And arguably, I guess my advice to Cain would be, you know, you're going to have to keep working hard and just deal with what you're getting. And Cain couldn't. And he took it out, became evil, malevolent, and killed his own brother, someone who he admired and loved, just through pure jealousy. Don't let your children do something that makes you hate them. It's a pretty funny sentence, but there's a lot of meaning behind it. It's make sure you teach your children to be good citizens of the world, because if you don't like them, the world is going to treat them even worse. And so it's your job to train your children to become good citizens, and don't let them do something that will make you hate them, because believe me, the rest of the world is going to treat them even worse. They're all in line along the same fundamental line. You need to take responsibility for yourself. This is the fundamentals behind Jordan Peterson's book. The worst kind of hurt that people go through isn't when, just say, they get sick or their house burns down or a hurricane comes through their place. The worst type of hurt that people go through is when they are betrayed by people they care about, friends or family. I'd like to share a little bit of a story myself. My stepfather was probably the most evil, malevolent person you could think of. So for instance, you know, I was like 10 years old, he would grab me by the throat and put his fist in my face if I didn't wash the dishes good enough, or I didn't, after having a shower, hang the towel neatly. This is the type of person that I was dealing with. Oh, there's a tree out there. Here's an axe. If you can cut down that tree, I'll give you $100. Knowing full well that I would never be able to cut through the tree. It's like these type of torturous type of acts. Ultimately, when I was a little bit older, he choked me to the point where I started convulsing and I got tunnel vision and I felt like I was going to die. And then when I'm there convulsing, he gets up and goes, next time I won't let go. Ultimately, it ended in me leaving home and becoming homeless. So I found myself living in the car, but actually living in the car was better than living in that type of environment. So I've seen the malevolence of living with bad people firsthand, and I've had a lot of practice dealing with it. My little sister, on the other hand, see, I could have become the Cain to my sister's Abel and become jealous of my sister, but I love my sister extremely, so much, and I was never ever felt jealousy against my sister. The difference between my sister is she would have like this beautiful room and everything's manicured and carpet and everything, and my room was a construction site. Like my room was never fixed, and I had wooden floorboards, and you'd see, like, you know, we were treated differently. I wasn't allowed to go into the fridge. I wasn't allowed to drink milk. I wasn't allowed to eat. At 17, I was extremely underweight. I was really thin. So this was my life, but I never felt jealous, and I never went to the level of Cain to the Abel, right? It's something that really resonated with me, is the fact that Cain couldn't handle it, and so he had to get jealous and take it out on someone else. And I think that is a fundamental problem with society and people these days, is that they don't really deal with things themselves and take extreme ownership. Now, extreme ownership means that no matter what happens, even if it's out of your control, you need to somehow take responsibility for it. And you can use that in your life as well. And that's another lesson. I know I'm mashing together a few books, but it's all relative to Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life and Antidote for Chaos. You need to take extreme ownership on yourself, your life, and everything that is involved in your life and everything that goes wrong. Even though it might not be fair, you need to take responsibility for it and do what you can within the limitations of what tools you have left after going through whatever ordeal you are going through. If you've already read the book and you've read these 3 books, leave a comment below and let me know what you think of these books, because I'll just like to engage you in the comments, because I think they're awesome books. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.